Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Monica.
Hey, B. I can't wait to hear about the meetup.
It wasn't as eventful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My glasses. I'll be right back. All righty, let's get this party started. And I'm having a bad hair day, so I'm wearing a hat. Y'all like my hat? Are you jealous?
Love it. Love it.
I'm jealous. You look good.
Jelly.
My auntie told me how to wear a hat. So y'all shout out my Aunt Jackie because she is a hat wearing sister, honey. Okay, so it is Wednesday night. It is time for Notary Meet and Greet, and I have a special favor to ask of you guys, if it's okay. Tonight, I am only going to be able to go for 1 hour because I have to go clean up my back apartment that I didn't clean up all day because I have 1,200 pounds of fresh produce en route to Tennessee tonight. And the trucker I'm providing accommodations for him in the back, and it is a hot mess back there right now. So is it okay? Does anybody have any objections to us doing 8? So that means it's gonna be a power pack 57 minutes, and we can't be long-winded tonight. Is everybody cool with that?
Yes.
I'm cool. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's go ahead and get started with people who need stuff first. And we'll start a line. Raise your hand so we can know who's going in what order. And I got a couple of announcements to make after they do that, and then we'll have an open floor until 9 o'clock, and then I get to go scrub toilets. Any problems? Anybody? No issues, no questions? No problem, Brittany. Thanks for being here. Urania, you're up. And then Lynn.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. Meant to turn this off. Okay, so I passed my electronic notary. I just gotta send off for it. Here's my question. So do I wait to get my seal before I start signing up?
Yes, because
Okay.
some of the people are gonna make you have your seal in order to sign up.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. And your
Thank
digital certificate, which I need help after Lynn. My hand is up next after Lynn. Urania, did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Lynn, you're up.
Put my hand down.
Lynn, are you there? All right. Well, I'm going to ask my question real quick, and then we're going to go back to Lynn. I can't find my digital certificate on my computer. And I remember B and Sebastian talking about this 2 Wednesdays ago. How can I get it?
Just give them a
Did they
call.
send it to you through an email?
They did, but then that was a secure, time delayed release situation, and you can't just keep going back to it.
Yeah, just give them a call. Mine was on my desktop, but it locked me out because for whatever reason, the password wouldn't go through, and Sebastian was telling me it was too long for their system.
Right.
because I use that like LastPass and it's like all these really weird things. And so it locks it in. So I know it's the right number or right info. So just give them a call. They can walk you through it. They can find it. There's actually, they'll walk you through and there's like a questionnaire thing. And if you've lost it, that's actually one of the questions that they ask you. And then they know from there what you need to do. So,
Yeah,
and
they're
they
awesome.
walk me through. Yeah, they're really good.
They are awesome, Monica, because
Okay.
I had to get a new computer and I thought I had saved it on my USB drive and they had to retrieve it. So I just called the people that I didn't trust and they are pros at what they do.
Okay. So they were, hold on, let me get out of here. So I keep hearing that they have excellent customer service. I'll go give them a call. Quentin, my friend and one of the instructors on this platform, he's been a full-time mobile notary for the last several months, I think about 8 months now. He sent me this article. We're both here in the state of Tennessee, obviously, but guess what? We are leaning towards more notarization, more remote online notarizations across the board, folks. So let's get it done. Let's give Amy over at Cyberize It all of the good prayers and vibes and everything we can throw her way, so she can get that launch out, and so that we can all start to do the remote online notarizations in the states that we can. All right. And this is the thing, everybody. Start keeping up with your stuff on your states, on your RON. Things are changing every day. It's a dynamic situation. So don't sleep on it. Okay. So anybody else? And just for those of you, go ahead.
I have a question. I don't know how to raise my hand to get noticed.
It's in the upper, like when you click the right three. Well, never mind. I was about to tell you, but I don't see it. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, this is Elle Lockett. I am a new notary. I haven't done my first one yet. My problem is I'm trying to find a printer and it was hard to find a printer. So I haven't taken any signings because they want me to have a printer. But my question is, when I get it and when I start, do you have to give the oath at every signing at the beginning when you get their ID? Because one video I saw, a very nice, pretty lady that's a notary, she says she does the oath every time. Is that something that you have to do? I'm in the state of Georgia and I don't know. I didn't see it anywhere.
Very good question, Elle Lockett. I'm very proud of you for asking it. And it depends on what type of notarization you're doing. So
loan signing.
Well, okay. It still depends on the type of notarization that you're doing. Okay. So a notarization is going to either be one of two things: an acknowledgement, which we're going to look at, and then a jurat. So we're going to go to your state's acknowledgement and your state's jurat so you can become familiar with what they look like and the language. Now, you only provide an oath or an affirmation for your jurat. So only on a jurat will you administer an oath. If you're doing an acknowledgement, you don't have to do an oath or an affirmation. But let's show you, because I'm visual and I know some people are visual too. I hope you're visual because I'm finna show you. So let's see. Let me see here. Georgia is the state, right? Georgia.
Yes, it is Georgia. But she does it before every signing. So I was like, and I looked at the documents. It doesn't say that you swear on, on your 1003, and then you don't swear.
I think that's because you like some of those affidavits and all of that is you may have a lot of affidavits that have jurats, and they just go ahead and take the oath in the beginning, so that way they can get it out the way and don't have to, every affidavit or name change or whatever document jurat they come to, they don't have to keep saying that oath over and over and over again. So they say the oath one time, they log it in the journal, and they through.
That's what she does, but it sounds like she does it every time. That's what I was saying, at every signing. Do you do that for
She,
seller
signing,
or a
yes.
buyer.
okay, so listen. So what's happening is she's being efficient. And this is a very good thing that you're bringing up, because notaries out in the field have come up with ways of being efficient at signings. But what you want to make sure of as a new notary is that you separate efficient loan signing processes from your duties and obligations as a notary public. So your duties and obligations as a notary public require you to do certain things with certain types of notarizations. So you need to just be real good and comfortable with that. And then be careful when you start coming over to your loan signings to do things in an efficient way. When you change your ceremony to match your service, then now you could potentially be stepping outside of your duty as a public official. Okay, so there are a lot of people that are out doing a lot of efficient things, pre-doing their notary journals, pre-doing a whole bunch of things, that if you were to read Professor Closen's book, Notary Best Practices, you wouldn't recommend doing some of those things. Because what happens is, if your journal ever gets subpoenaed and you've gone and done your efficient process by doing all this pre-work and doing this oath administering at the beginning to cover everything, right? Then that may not be a problem, but you need to make sure you do it the same way every time, and you need to make sure you do it according to what your state. So there's two things at play. You're watching somebody who is really doing it out there, and she's being very efficient, so she's come up with procedures to help her business do well. However, as notaries, we have to be aware that sometimes we can create procedures to help our business work smoothly that are against what is recommended as a notary best practice by the leading expert in notarial law. Does that make sense?
Yes, because I read only if it says it's sworn or something like that, that you do administer the oath. And if none of the documents say that, then you don't have to do it, is my understanding.
Correct. You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct. You are correct. Very good. I'm very glad that you did that research. Antoinette, you're up.
Yes, when I do my my loan signings, I do V5. I only do the oath when it is required for me to do it. When the wording says that to do a sworn, that's when I do it. But most of the time I don't do it because it doesn't require me to do it. So yes, you have to know when to acknowledge and when to use your direct. So I just want to say that.
Thank you. And then we're going to pull up the Georgia.
Thank you.
Let's see here. This looks like the individual acknowledgement here for Georgia. Maybe if I can scroll, and I don't know how well we can see that. It's kind of blurry on my.
Yeah, and they're all on the Secretary of State's website. You just download it and copy it as many times as you want. Mm-hmm.
So with this, obviously you would look at this and you would know right away that you don't have to do any kind of oath or affirmation, because it's an acknowledgement, and there's no sworn by or affirmed or anything like that, right? So you don't have to do that whole thing there. But on your other one, on your jurat, you're gonna have to subscribe and sworn to or affirm before me. That's when you, the notary, are going to have what Professor Closen recommends, a ceremonial situation. Okay. And that ceremony needs to be different and make everybody in the room on alert that something serious is going to happen. Some notaries have the signer raise their right hand. Some have the notary have the signer stand. You need to implement a process. For those of you who are like the control freaks that love telling people what to do, this is your time to shine. Because when whatever you decide for your ceremony to look like is what people are going to do that day. Okay. So you need to come up with a ceremony per Professor Closen that signifies something serious is about to go down. And if you are not telling the truth, then you are going to remember this day that you had to stand up and you had to raise your right hand. And you, as the notary, Professor Closen recommends, go to your journal, write a note, had signer stand, All these little different things that you're not going to do if you're trying to do 10 loan signings a day. So there's a difference between being a diligent and prudent notary public and a efficient loan signing agent. Does everybody get that? Kim, you're up.
Yes.
Yes, hello. I had two brief things. I am actually in Georgia, and I was encountering the same question as far as the oath. So what I would do is the efficient way. Well, first I was doing it the other way, actually. Every time it was an oath required, I'm giving it. But attorneys accompany us on our closings. And she told me that once I put them on the oath at the beginning, there's no need to remind them every time that they're under oath. They're under oath that whole document. So I don't know if that helps or not, just food for thought.
Thank
Because I
you
do
very much.
y'all
Thank
do
you.
quite
Yes.
closings. And then my actual issue is, anyone have any tips? I kind of know the answer, but I just want to hear someone else do it. How do you screen your clients? Because as far as general notary work, when I screen, sometimes it seems like it's still either I'm not taking long enough to do the screening, or they're trying to rush you just to get to the price.
Good question. Does anybody want to take a stab at that for Kimberly?
This is Violet. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
Okay. As for me, when I get a call, I usually ask quite a few questions. Your name, location, what type of documents that you need. And pretty much once we go through that, I kind of sort of have a feel for it. If they mean business, they'll let you know up front what is needed. And then you have those calls that when they call, they go around, you ask them questions trying to get information. Then they got 50 million questions for you. So normally that's probably not the person for you, but pretty much just try to answer questions on the front end once you get them on the line. So anybody else have anything? That's all I have.
That's a really good question. I mean, that was a really good answer. Kimberly, exactly what Violet said, and I'm dropping in the chat a link to this video that Laura Buer put together, the 10 questions to ask before you take a general notary assignment. I took those 10 questions and I created a intake form on Google Forms. She also gave me a 15-minute call so that I could, drill down a little bit. But if you watch the video that I just put in the chat, she has a list of things that she does before she goes out on any general notary work appointments. And that cuts to the chase. It cuts to the chase. Let's see here.
Thank you.
I think it was Lynn. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, so I am new, like maybe 2-3 weeks new to the notary business and then loan signing. And I studied some of your, watched some of your YouTube videos, and I had no idea that when this email came in for tonight's invite that it was you. So thank you. You gave me great information and kind of motivated me to, go ahead and put myself out there. So I just wanted to say that to you. I was surprised. I'm like, oh my gosh, I watched her YouTube, and I watched you interview. It was a young Black male who was a loan officer, and then he started doing the loan signing, and then his wife got into it.
Hugh did.
So thank you so much. Keep sending out those emails, because you sent a lot, and then this one just, it made me want to, it intrigued me. But so thank you. So like I said, I've been doing it 2-3 weeks, and I've had about 7 or 8 loan signings. And like I said, I was watching different videos trying to see which companies I should create profiles for, see who might give me a hit. And so I heard you mention, a lot of folks are doing this full time. By the way, I'm in Florida, North Central Florida. And so I just want to know, I want to soak up as much information as I can and try to expand it into something full time.
First of all,
and learn more about the RON system. I have to admit that it is a little intimidating. just like this notary thing, because the loan signing thing is just so much information out there and so many moving parts that you kind of just got to pick it apart and figure out, take what somebody says, research it to see if it's factual, and then apply it. And then if you have a good result, then you go ahead and you do it that way. So I just want to soak up as much information from y'all as I can. So thank you.
You're welcome. And that, to me, right there, you said something that you just went too fast, and we need to hold off for a second on. 7 signings, and you've been doing it for a few weeks.
Exactly. I heard
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's just give ourselves a pat on the back for that part, because there's a lot of signing agents that get out there and just don't hear and don't hear and don't hear. Granted, you are in Florida, so y'all down there doing the most. So we already know you and Janae and Brittany, y'all got a whole different set of facts than the rest of the country, okay?
Exactly.
Sure do.
So we give y'all that.
Sure do.
But the fact is, you've already got your thing going. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You don't need to find nobody else. You need to keep taking care of who you got.
Okay.
And you need to, are you doing it? You say you are doing it full time, right?
I am not. No, I want to do it full time. So, I get like random phone calls because I created profiles on, 123 Notary, SnapDocs, it was a Notary Resume, Notary Rotary, all of those. And so I've had some successful hits, and but I want to do it full time. So I'm looking for ways to make that happen.
Okay, so tonight before this call, I met with Ian. Ian is our copywriting man. He writes copy for emails for a living, and he has a 8-touch marketing campaign. He will be in class on Thursday, which is tomorrow night. It's called the Title Company 8-Touch Marketing Campaign. It's in the basic membership at Notary Nerd, so the basic level membership. He's just gonna hop on for the first 15 minutes or so. But we just went over all of the emails, okay? And I could see why he is doing what he's doing for a living, because his emails, from the number of words in the subject line and everything, that's gonna help you get in front of your customer. I'm saying this because these are going to help you go direct. This is we're going to be using. There's a marketing class we just did where we showed you how to go find all the title companies in your state, in your wherever. You get them on a list, and you pick an email autoresponder, be it Constant Contact, AWeber, MailChimp, whatever. Now he's got these 8 emails. You put that joker on autopilot, and you keep moving around your business, because now you've got a system by which you can go direct. So that's so you need to plug in on all of that, and I think you'll be fine.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow is the 8-touch email marketing campaign, but you'll have to catch the replay of the title company marketing class where we talk about how to go and find the title companies.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if the title company marketing class is in the basic. You might be better off getting the standard membership, because I think that's where the title company marketing is at. So,
Gotcha.
Urania, you're up. You there?
Yes, I'm trying to get my little mouse to move. Okay, question. When it comes down to the journal, when you're notarizing things, okay, so whenever we have to stamp or sign, has a notary stamp or a sign and stamp, that's what goes in the journal, correct?
Correct.
Each time, whether it's an acknowledgement jurat or whatever, we put that in there as long as we have to notarize and stamp.
Yeah, you're gonna on that journal entry. What Professor Closen says is it's like a real journal. You're making, some journals already have it pre-populated where you check one or the other, right?
Okay.
So that if that's the case for you, then that's fine. Let me see. Let's look at the integrity journal.
Okay. I don't have that one, but okay. I like it's nice.
This one, okay, you can't really see it, but
I can see
here in it gives you a place. Most of the journals will have a place for you to do what you need to do. As far as checking which one is acknowledgement or direct. However, also always remember this, you guys, your journal is your journal. It's supposed to be a place where you make a note of things like smelled like alcohol, or smelled like, or had a red plaid jacket on and complained that you need to make little notes of certain things that may stand out at your signing in your journal. Because what will happen if you get in a habit of doing that early and you've got a journal that really looks like one that, you know, you've written kind of over everywhere and you kind of got little notes and scribbles everywhere, then when that journal or your series of journals get subpoenaed and Professor Closen or someone like him reviews those journals, then what he really looks at in totality is that you have a habit of being detailed, right? So if somebody tries to come and say you were the fault of whatever criminal act is at play that's got the whole journal subpoenaed in the first place, the likelihood is they're going to say, well, you know, if she did do something, it probably wasn't intentional because she's got a habit of taking detailed notes in her journal about her notarizations. I'm going to lean on the side of she knew what was her recollection is correct of whatever happened, or his. So your journal and the way you notate in it is like your notary character. If you don't have anything but, if you don't have any declinations in your journal, what do I mean by that? If you haven't declined a notarization ever in your journal, that's a problem, according to Professor Closen. Because statistically, you should have at least declined one, right? And when you decline a notarization, you are supposed to annotate that decline in your notary journal. So if you got a 250-page notary journal and not one that you decline,
Monica, I decline all the time on notarized, and you are right, because when I do terminate the call, I have to, like, if ID looks suspicious, that's what I put.
There you go. Exactly. And you make a note of these things that whatever it is you need to make a note of in your journal, that's what you do. Urania, yeah, did we get your question answered?
Yes.
Okay. And Lynn.
I'm good.
Okay. All right. Anybody else before we get to my announcements? All right. So Narisa came in. Narisa's one of our moderators at Notary Nerds in the Facebook group, and she hopped into our staff call today and had a really good, well, we were talking about this yesterday, but basically what we're looking at is this whole mentoring thing, right? Everybody needs mentoring, but not everybody kind of gets what mentoring is. And some people associate mentoring with something that should be free, and some people associate it with things that need to have money. But you know, if I'm talking about it, nobody mentoring should be mentoring for free as far as I'm concerned. That's just my 2 cents. I believe in paying it forward and all of that, but if you want to mentor, you should be willing, you should want to pay your mentor, because that's what they're supposed to be there for. So I know there's 2 schools of thought. I'm not trying to push mine on anybody, but what I am going to do is create a space for that to happen. So yes, Sebastian, you are, because you can't, first of all, it's not that to get the mentor rich. Let me just get on my soapbox real quick. It's not to get the mentor rich. It's because you need to have some skin in the game, okay? If you're going to waste my time, you need to have some skin in the game. You need to feel, it's like going to the gym, okay? If you pay that gym membership, you're more than likely to show up at the gym. We don't complain when we get Planet Fitness money and don't go. But Lord have mercy, if somebody said they want some money for mentoring you, oh, I can't believe you would charge. If it was me, I would just pay it forward. Well, it ain't you, okay? So the thing is,
I like that. She said, ain't you?
yeah, because you got to, at some point, you got to be like, okay, well, look.
Exactly.
If you have to, it seems like in the notary business, it's a lot of,
yeah. You know, everybody wants something for free.
Right. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. Give it. And I have never seen that in any other, and I'm in 2 other industries, mind you. I'm in agriculture and I'm in real estate. And this seems to be the only industry where everybody expects
You
that
to
you
give
give
it to them.
okay? Well, that's not how business works, okay? And if somebody has worked hard to learn what we call trade secrets on how to bring in revenue, because we're gonna start talking using business terms from here on out, okay? Then you need to compensate them for their time. And then you need to know what your time is worth. And the way you do that is you go look at what you told the IRS you grossed, divided by the number of hours you worked that year, and there's your hourly rate. So now you got a basis to be able to figure out when somebody comes up to you and says, hey, can I get you for a few hours a week to teach me how to do refi packets? Absolutely. My rate's $77.52 an hour. And I can get you scheduled for Tuesday from 6 to 9. Would that work? We'll go over the packet from beginning to end. And then they can say yes or no, right? But we ain't paying it for with you stopping what you're doing where you could be earning money or spending time with your family to do something to somebody because they said they wanted it. Okay. So I'm off of my soapbox. That having been said, I'm creating a place for you to get mentorship 12 hours a day between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Facebook group only. No phone calls, no text messages, none of that. You post in this Facebook group what your problem is, and within an hour, you're gonna hear from one of 3 mentors. And one of those 3, each of those 3 mentors is gonna be making $500 every month to be in this group, and they're gonna sign up for a shift between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. And they're gonna guarantee to me that they're gonna respond to anything that's in that post, in that feed, within an hour, or else they're not gonna get their $500 at the end of the month. Okay, so the notary who is new, because everybody's on their phone already, okay, it's a Facebook group. That's all it is. We're gonna keep it real simple. Everything has to be redacted. You can't put in all the same rules and regulations apply. Okay. No, they're not gonna know your state law. So before anything can happen, and this is gonna be something that's no matter what, you as a notary need to know your own state law. Okay. You shouldn't start with what does the state of so and such say? No, you need to take a day and print off all of that or get your primer, and you need to know that for yourself. So in this group, the disclaimer for the group will be, you have to come in knowing what your state says, or at the very minimum have your primer or your printed law out to where you can reference it. Because ultimately that's your responsibility. Now, some of these documents that you be coming across in package, you're not gonna see those all the time. So you're gonna probably be in the middle of something or trying to get a packet together and you need a question answered. That's what this group is for. Okay, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Now, drop in the chat how much you think it's gonna cost. Drop in the chat how much you think it's gonna cost per month. Good Lord, Wayne. Wayne, where are you at? You didn't come on camera today. I miss seeing that tabby cat of yours. I know, right? There he is. You woke me up with that $100. Good gracious.
Well, I mean, the people, the mentors know it and we don't.
Right.
That's valuable information.
Well, guess what, guys? Walter was the closest. It's gonna be $10 a month. Okay?
Damn.
So now nobody gets to complain about, oh, it costs too much, or oh, it's this, or oh, it's that. If you've got issue with $10 a month to be able, now here's the caveat. It's just in that group. You're not calling, you're not text messaging. It's gonna be confined. The mentoring is confined to the Facebook group, okay? And it's between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. And I've already got my first 3 people that I'm gonna approach for the mentors for this to be in this role. I got them in mind, okay? And hopefully they're free. And if they're not, I'll go find some other people. But so for the first 250 and so, but we can't do this unless we get at least 203 people, because I can't pay them or myself if I don't get at least 203 people, because there's gonna be customer service issues. There's gonna be all kinds of stuff that need to be managed with that, right? So 203 people to 500 people is when the mentors are just making $500 for the month. Well, as soon as that group jumps to 501 to 1,000 people, those same mentors are going to jump up to $1,000 a month. Why? Because now they've got 1,000 people that's posting stuff between 9 and 9. And again, their commitment to getting paid is that you agree that if you sign up for this and you take the 9 to 12 shift, let's just say, that everything that happens between 9 and 12, that you're Johnny on the spot within 60 minutes of it being posted. It's gonna be real easy for my assistant to go in there and see what it is and what it ain't. Okay? So that's gonna be that check and balance. So it's not gonna be any signing up for it and trying to get the $500 a month, but you're really super busy. You really just kind of, oh, you can't really get, no, that ain't this. This is one of those things where when you sign up to mentor in this group, you got to be there for folks because they're depending on you. Okay. Once this is rolled out, they're going to depend on, okay, at least if the NNA puts me on hold for 20 minutes, at least I can hop into the mentorship group and at least post or ask a question and somebody can at least help me out or point me in the right direction. Right. That's what they're paying for. And the reason they're only paying $10 a month is because they're not texting you. So you're not giving them your cell phone. Y'all aren't doing a whole lot of DMing. You're not doing any of that. It's just in the group. Okay. So after the 501 to 1,000 people in the group, those 3 mentors are making $1,000 a piece. Then once we go from 1,001 members to 1,500 members, I keep it at 1,000 a piece, but I got to add 3 new mentors. So, because that would be too many people for 3 people to be handling. Okay. So at that point, I'm up to 6 mentors at $1,000 a month each. Let me hear y'all's feedback. What do y'all think?
I love the way you think. I love how you have laid this out. I mean, I am new. I haven't done one signing yet, but I want to join whatever it is.
Yeah.
How do
you
I
become
think
a
we're
mentor?
all on the same page. I think we all agree that it's a great laid out plan. Everything is thought out. When you get to a certain number, you already know what you need to do,
Right.
and everything. So everything, I think everything is laid out good.
Okay. You ready?
How do you become a mentor?
That's a great question. We're gonna have a process, a little vetting process. Like I say, it's already kind of clear who's who. You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of seeing if those people are available, but you've got to have signing service experience. I'm sorry, you've got to have, a track record of doing a lot of signings, because we want mentors to be able to handle most anything that would come their way. So if it's an odd document or some verbiage, the mentor needs to be someone who has seen more scenarios than not. So if you're newer and you're just kind of getting started, mentoring is probably not going to be where you want to be. But if you've got 100 and 200 and 300 signings under your belt, then you definitely qualify for a mentor if you've got the patience to be able to do that, because it does still take a little patience.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was saying it, being a part from the perspective, I wouldn't mind being a mentee because of how you have laid this out and how you're looking out for people like me who started or just been in the business, 6 months to a year. So I just appreciate everything you do, even now.
Well,
I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Thank you. And I so appreciate that. And I just have to always say, I have to say thank you, but I also have to say I'm being very selfish because I have a master plan. And my master plan is a network of the baddest notaries in this land. Okay.
And some of them are on this call.
You better know it. So,
hey.
And you better
I'm not
know.
the bad. I'm not the baddest in the loan signing, but I'm gonna be the baddest in online, okay? I'm gonna be the
Okay.
baddest on run.
Well, can you do this when you say it? Because if you're not doing this when you say it, it's not real.
Gotta
Okay.
add
I'm
some
doing
flavor
it.
come
You
to
on.
it.
can't see me
Add some
doing it, but
flavor
I'm
to it.
rocking. I'm rocking with you.
Thank you. Okay. So that's the point. I'm being a little selfish because I feel like, and it has been my situation from the beginning. I'm a broker, so I've got contacts upon contacts upon contacts, and I've not rolled out any of that to them as far as the notary stuff because I didn't have my team in place. Now I actually have a staff of 3 employees, and now I can develop. I know what my business model is now. If you guys didn't take Rachel's course on setting up your business model, you need to do that. I'll be right back. But you have to. I'm selfish, so it's about me trying to build this right here. So last night we learned about primary,
I
secondary,
love that.
and tertiary customers in the business model class. So if you haven't watched the replays, you should have it uploaded. So before you begin marketing, you need to know who your customer is, and you need to have customer groups in 3 areas: your primary customer, your secondary customer, and your tertiary customer. My primary customers are you guys. That's exactly how I wanted it. I want my signing service to be modeled after putting the notaries first, because I saw in the marketplace that the notaries were not being put first, right? So notaries are my primary customer. So all of the Notary Nerds University, Notary Nerds Network, anything notary is my primary customer. So when I do marketing on Facebook for my notaries, I'm marketing to my notaries. My secondary customer is attorneys. Okay. Attorneys are my secondary customer, not just any attorneys, female attorneys. Why? Because I want to help them make money, because the ABA sent me an email recently that the disparity in income between attorneys, female attorneys and male attorneys is still significant. And a lot of female attorneys are having a difficult time staying in the field because they get passed over for partner. So after about 15 years of service or of practice, they tend to just leave the whole game altogether. So what I want to do is I want to tell them, hey, look, sis, let's get you some Ron business coming in. I got a whole bunch of attorneys. I have a whole bunch of notaries in my network that can help you. As a matter of fact, we can also help you get your woman-owned small business certification if you'd like. And by the way, there's a lot of government contracts out there that, hey, me and you can partner up on, and we can really do some things. So that's my secondary customer. And then my third customer is my FINRA brokers, like Dan taught us for the fingerprinting. Now I have a clear plan. So when you guys see me doing all this stuff and you're like, oh gosh, Monica is the best, God puts it on my heart to tell the people the truth. That yes, I am doing this for you, but I'm doing it for me too. Because if I can get you guys right, and I roll this marketing out, and we got this network, and I got a whole bunch of little LLC'd up folks out there that know how to fingerprint and run and know their state laws and everything, then we'll see the change happen in the signing service market real quick. We'll see the change happen in the signing service market real quick. So that was my announcement. Tony, you got your hand up?
Yes, I'm sorry. I missed the beginning when you were talking about the mentoring. Is it only for loan signing?
You know what?
Because I'm not there yet. I'm trying to focus on general notary.
You know what? It's a great question. The mentoring is going to be for anything, but you bring up a good point that I need to make sure that the mentors aren't all just loan signing heavy. But here's the thing. Anything you're going to see in general notary work, for the most part, can be in a loan signing too. You know what I'm saying? Some of the stuff is going to cross over, but the bottom line is understanding the difference between your acknowledgement and your jurat. If you understand the difference between your acknowledgement and your jurat, I don't care what stack of papers they throw you. When you start flipping through them, you see that acknowledgement, you're going to know it. Boom, this is what I do with this. You flip through, you see that jurat, boom. Loan signing, yeah, it's going to be more documents of where you're supposed to sign. They just changed the 1003. So, but I'm glad you brought that up, Tony, because I will make sure that we have some general notary work mentors in there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Lynn, you still have your hand up from before, or you have your hand up for a new question?
That's from before. I'll figure out how to put it down.
Hold on, I can do it. I can do it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Tony, did we answer your question?
Yeah, you answer my question. I'm just nervous. I'm just scared. I don't know why. I'm just scared. And I think it was either your Facebook group or someone else said scared money don't make money.
Girl, that was me, honey. You almost made me knock my hat off my head. That was me. Okay.
And that was a slap in my face because that's me. I'm like, oh Lord, I felt that.
Right. Because it
Tony,
is so.
Tony, just do it scared.
There you go. Thank you, Pam.
Yeah.
Just do it scared. Just do it scared. Just like you went on your first new job.
That's right.
Just like you're going on a new job and you just got to
my trainer.
have confidence in yourself.
Okay.
Right.
I can do this, long as if you get the documents ahead of time and if you can go through them, then go through them. And then what I would suggest is that if you print them, print your extra copy for yourself and then go when you come back home. And then now you can use those as a sample for yourself. And then pretend or just print one if you get it like 2 hours before and you really have time, just go through the package and make that your sample like you signing with somebody and you go in there and you stamp your little stamp and read through it.
What you
So
say?
just go through the documents.
You're so right, 'cause that's how I train myself with Ron. I pretend like I had another call on the line. I had to learn the script. And so the first time I didn't do well, but the second time she was like, how would you feel? Start taking calls. I told her, I said, I'm gonna do it scared. And guess what? I know that script at the back of my hand now.
Right.
And like Monica said, all I need to do is know what a jurat and acknowledgement is, and I'm good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I would suggest if you haven't did any, it's a Notary 101 course and just find somebody that take that course. And if you take that 101 course, that's going to tell you between what's a notary, acknowledgement and a jurat. And once you got that down, then you're going to be good to go. Just what each state got different documents too, that you do. So it'll come to you. Once you do your second one, you're gonna be on the go, but then you're gonna get some documents on your third and fourth one that you have never seen. And that's what it's like she's saying. You see a lot of people in notary groups, what they do is they cover up the person's name and post that document out there, what go here. And now everybody is trying to help everybody, but a lot of people don't want to invest into some training. So it's really like you doing a notary, that's your business. So actually what you're doing, you got to invest into your own business. It might not be a lot. You can find somebody that would teach the class. Like I'm in Houston, Texas. It's people just teaching the whole training class for $135. And let me tell you, every year I take a training from somebody else to better myself because I don't think that I'm too good that I can't remember. I remember everything. But I go something refreshing because like right now, the 1003 change. It totally changed. And then you got to watch some documents. I'll tell people, if you didn't do nothing, if you got to get to it, use those sticky notes. Buy you some sticky notes, sign here. And then for yourself, you use a different color to sign there. And that's just to get yourself on the first go. And then now you get ready to go.
Let me ask y'all experienced signing agents. If somebody is a new signing agent and they get an offer to go do a signing at 2:00 in the afternoon, and the docs haven't arrived, and the signing is supposed to happen at 6, what would you recommend that they do? How would you handle that? Or how would you, not how you would handle it because you would take it, but with them being new and unfamiliar with the documents, would you say, go ahead and say yes, and then arrange a later time with the signer? Or would you say pass that one on because it's not enough time for you to look at the docs? Some of y'all chime in on that.
I would call the title
like
company.
You said, I think I would just do a later time and get on the phone with somebody and we go over them docs really quick.
Okay. And Lisa Marie said the same thing in the chat. She was like, yeah, I would just go ahead and say yes. So is that the consensus for the vets? Don't ever turn it down. Grab it and then get with the signer and arrange for a later time and then work it out with the title company. I've already talked to the signer. We're going to sign it later. They don't care when you sign it so long as it gets signed for the most part. You can't change days and too much on things depending on what's going on. So definitely check with them. But the consensus is grab it, but don't try to keep that same time. Change the time. Give yourself time to go through the documents. Right, Lisa. Lisa says the title company does not really care as long as it is signed that day, whatever time.
I would say different.
Right.
There are a lot of title companies that are very specific about their times and when you're scheduled, and they would rather you call the title company first to get it rescheduled to a different time rather than rescheduling it with the signer, because the signer and you are not the only people depending on that schedule. There are other people involved that are looking at it, and they're based on whatever schedule is set.
Right, because then some of the documents has to be scanned back within an hour or 2 hours after the signing for the notary to be able for them to do a closing, even though you don't mail it, but they want it scanned back to them. So yeah, you have to ask the title company. I will ask the title company first, but I would accept it and just call the title company and say, hey, you know what? It's going to take me a while to print these documents.
And then let the title company be your guide. Brittany, you got your hand up?
Yeah, so the only thing I wanted to throw in is because I might have missed it. Are we talking the offers come in and the documents are ready, or the documents aren't ready?
They aren't ready.
So on that, I would not just grab it, only because a new person, one, is going to be super nervous, and super nervous without time to review is going to mean mistakes. And the title company is going to be more aggravated about mistakes in a re-sign than if the appointment has to get pushed back. So I would counter and say, I can take it if the documents come in time for me to have time to prep. If they don't, is the signer flexible? Then I can definitely take it and meet them later.
That sounded really professional.
Right, good.
Yeah, I like that. That sounded like, okay, I'm a counter. I'll take that 5 and raise you whatever. So it sounds like it's like a little negotiation that happens. So which makes sense because you're the CEO of your business and they're asking you to go out and do something. And just because they ask you to do it a certain way doesn't mean you have to accept it. So you can go back and say, well, you know what, I want to do this, but here's the deal. Can I get the docs by this time? If not, then, whatever you just said, y'all gonna have to play this back. Because however she said it was a lot smoother than what I was about to try to say.
Yeah, so, I've had to do a couple like that.
Okay.
And the title company, they were understanding and they didn't get the docs to you on time. And you have more signings in that particular day. So then you have to backtrack and go back home or try to stop at Kinko's or somewhere and try to print not 1, but 2. And then you got to sit, in the car and try to go through it. I can't sit in the car and go through that. I have to be somewhere that I can actually review it. So I have had to contact the title company and ask them for the docs earlier. Or if you can't get them to me, okay, we can still do this. Let's call the customer and the signer and see if they could do it at 7 o'clock instead of 5 o'clock, because you're not getting the docs to me until 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. I hate working that way. I like to get my stuff ahead of time.
Right.
So Brittany is correct, but I'm not turning it down unless the title company can't get me what I need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all hear these vets talking, honey, these Floridians down there with all this refi activity and all these reverse mortgages and stuff going on down there. Urania, you got your hand up.
Real quick, okay, so I just got my first signing this month, so really I'm just getting started in the business. I did a signing, did well. I know companies, when they send assignments, you got to have so many in order to get like hired direct. And so with that being said, how is it that I can go about getting more business? Because what they'll do is they'll send out to a bunch of notaries. then, you know, people hop on at one time and then they have a choice to pick and choose of who they want to sign it to. So in that case, what else can I like do as far as getting business? Because a lot of people won't hire you unless you had so many signings in order for them to hire you direct.
So I'm gonna take this one off the rip. You gotta go direct. You gotta start building some direct relationships once you've gotten comfortable enough to be able to, you know, get through a signing or two or three, or even not even once you get comfortable. At the same time, while you're getting comfortable doing your signings, you need to be marketing to title companies directly with the message that you're available should their preferred notary not be. So the email campaign that Ian is going to show us tomorrow has 8 emails that in a sequence keep talking about how much you're going to help them do what they need done. And one time,
I'll be on it.
Yeah, that's where and then you're going to have to pick your own email autoresponder though. So I don't have any, you know, Aweber and all that stuff. iPhone, you're up. It's everything, Lisa. If you don't market, you might as well just not worry about it. iPhone, I don't know who it is. It just says iPhone. You got your hand up? Uh-oh. Yep. Ooh. Kinkos and Staples are no-nos, it looks like. So when y'all are printing stuff, I didn't realize that. That's a good point. I guess it is a public place. Jacqueline, I'm so glad to meet you too. I just now scrolled up and saw that. Walter, don't worry about my 10-gallon hat. You probably just jealous. Okay.
I love the hat. I love the hat.
Thank you. Talking about my 10-gallon hat. I got
Don't leave the hat alone.
I got this at the rodeo. I'm having a bad hair day, so we're just gonna cover it.
So Monica,
Yes, ma'am.
L. Lockett, you cannot print at Kinko's or Staples or those places like that.
Yeah,
you cannot.
Right. Correct.
I read that, and so when the lady was saying that she printed it, see, remember my first thing
was that a friend of mine runs. So the printer that I use is in her office. It's not the printer that's out in the front with everybody. And I've only done that like twice because I got the papers late. So it was either do that or drive, you know, along out of the way to get it done. But I try to do my printing at home.
Right. That was my problem, is I was trying to get a printer. And so this week I had to cancel some signings because I didn't have a printer. And that's what I read, that you could not use a public place. So we cannot use FedEx office or UPS to print. Asking?
No.
Okay.
And that's a good best practice. If you guys haven't written out your best practices of what your company will and won't do, what time your company will and won't come to do a signing, what time it won't, how far it will and won't drive, under what conditions it will and won't perform a notarization, just for your own benefit, you want to have, those are your guidelines. And one of those things is, I won't print in these public places. And then also, you know, a lot of times, take a picture of it real quick and send it to me. Be careful with that. Be careful with taking pictures with your phone of stuff that somebody might need text, or if somebody else in the transaction, the lender or somebody else, be careful with those kind of things, okay? And you should never, ever take a picture of a military ID, period.
Exactly. Never.
That's against the law, I think.
Yeah, it is against the law. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Okay. So don't ever take pictures of, just keep because if your phone was to get hacked, that information was to get leaked, now you're on some serious situation. Okay, so it's 8:59, and for those of you guys who came in a little bit late, I have a 1,200-pound truck, a truck with 1,200 pounds of produce coming from New Orleans to Murfreesboro tonight. The driver will be here in the wee hours of the morning, and the apartment accommodations that I'm providing in the back are not clean. So I need to go clean.
Yeah, you need to step on it.
And I need to step on it. So if they're, let's see here, we got iPhone's hand back up. Let's make sure
Yeah.
we get everybody covered. Go ahead.
Hello. Sorry, sorry about that earlier. So my question, I just wanted to get some clarification because my name is Rona. I'm trying to go direct. I would say experience. I have over 100 signings done, and so the course that the training that's going on tomorrow is I also have the standard membership.
Okay.
So is there the course that's going on tomorrow? Earlier in the conversation, you were saying something about it being posted in the standard membership, or is that another course?
No, okay, so good question. So the course tomorrow, there's 2 on the calendar tomorrow. Tomorrow, from 5 to 6:30 Central, Georgette is teaching government contracts for fingerprinting. And then from 7 until 8:30, for those of you guys wanting to go direct, we finally have the 8-touch title company emails ready. I just went over those with Ian. We're gonna get those tomorrow night. So you are in the standard membership, you will have access to that 7 o'clock class about the emails.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, so you won't
Perfect.
have access to the fingerprint government contracting, but it doesn't sound like that's what you need anyway. So
Right. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
you're welcome. So tomorrow, Ian's gonna be on the first 15 minutes of the call. He's gonna kind of run down through the emails real quick, and we're gonna cut him loose so he can go do what he needs to do. But then we're gonna talk strategy about getting those out. Well, we'll probably look at a couple of the autoresponders because you want to automate as much as you can of this. Get a list of 100 or 200 title companies. Real quick before I go, and then I'm gonna go. I want to illustrate this for you guys real quick because it's important that you know how important the numbers are in your marketing. So you don't play around with it. No, I'm just gonna do 10 a day, and then tomorrow I'll do another 4. We're not gonna do it that way. So how we're gonna do it, just gonna pull up a spreadsheet real quick. Okay, so we're gonna call this leads. We're just gonna call this a lead calculator, just so you can have a real quick illustration on the importance of building a database, a humongous database, okay? All right. So I always base everything off of the fact that 1 out of every 5 things is going to happen. So 20% of something is going to happen. So we've got outcome 1, and outcome 1 may be something like the phone rings, they call, okay? And they say they call. They respond to a postcard or whatever. Outcome 2 is not only do they call, but they schedule an appointment, a Zoom, for a face-to-face, just to put a face with a name, right? And then outcome 3, finally, maybe, if I can get this out of the way, no thanks. Maybe outcome 3 is they schedule an appointment. They schedule you for a signing. Okay, oops, sorry. Outcome 3, schedule you. It may take more than that, but we're just gonna use 3 for time's sake, okay? For a signing. Okay, so let me squeeze this out here and squeeze that out there. Okay, so let's start with 100 leads. All right, so with 100 leads, if 1 out of every 5 things is gonna happen, that means that's 20%. That's that times 0.20. That means that if I email 100 people, how many of them are going to call me? Potentially, just statistically 20, right? Well, out of those 20, another 1 out of every 5 is going to move forward in my process. So we've gotten on the phone, 20 people have called me. How many of them are actually going to schedule a Zoom?
5.
Okay, how did you come up with that number?
I don't know. I just said it because I wasn't listening.
Oh, okay, well, let's see here. Let's see if you're right. Well, let's see what 20% of 20 is, because 1 out of every 5 thing is going to happen. And 1 out of 5 happens to be 20%. So I'm going to take 20, multiply it by 20%, because I'm going to always use 1 out of 5 as my benchmark, right? So that means out of those 20 callers, 4 of them are going to schedule a Zoom. All right, well, how many of them, so how many do you think are gonna end up here scheduling me for a signing? Well, let's just see. If one out of every 5 things is gonna happen, I don't quite have 5 things, but I can still use my 20%. I'm gonna take that outcome, multiply it by 20%, and maybe I'll get scheduled for a signing if I email 100 people. Do you see how it works? So you have to be in database mode. If you want to go direct, you have got to build a phenomenal database of title companies. And I show you how to do that in the title company marketing class. I show you where to go get the title company information for free. Okay. And either you can sit down and do it yourself, or you can pay somebody like I did, $150, and they'll and give them a data entry test. I'll talk to you guys about how to do that. You can do it, get and outsource it. This is one of those areas where you can't be scared to spend money. If you have a business and you don't have a database of customers, you really don't have a business, you have a hobby. So until you get your database of customers together that you can begin to market to in an effective way, which you will be able to do tomorrow, because you'll have an 8 series template. One of you guys, or some of you guys, are not going to have to be able to use all 8, because that third one is Ron. So you're going to have a 7-touch template. You're going to rearrange that third one. But my point is, you need to be building a database that's bigger than life. Because as you see here, this is if you got good copy and your message is coming through right, and there's no grammatical issues, and there's right? So you really need, when you start looking at things, you really need, if you want to start really getting some direct business, you really need to be turning it up on the lead. You need 500 to 1,000 leads to get that first few signings to come in direct. But once you get it in, and this number, I'm sure there's some factors that could make this even more. 1 out of every 5 is just the base level. You can increase your odds by your copy. What does the subject line say? Does it have enough words in it? Between 4 and 6 words in the subject line has been proven to be the most effective. Did you say the right things with those 4 to 6 words? What did you say in the body? What was your call to action? A lot of times people don't do all of that. They send one email blast and that's it. This is a series of touches that you're gonna put on a situation to a database that you went and created one Saturday. And then once you put it on automation, you're gonna get some calls, because it's statistically impossible for you not to do that, to not get calls. So the more the merrier. And iPhone, did that help? I think.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Okay, good. All right, you guys. Well, we're cutting it short Wednesday night tonight. I've got to go back and I got to start cleaning. And I am so excited for everything that we've got going on. I think you guys are an amazing group of people. I am so blessed to be able to be in your presence. So y'all keep it positive. Have a good night.
Thank you. We thank you.
Thank you, Monica, for everything. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Hey,
Monica.
Thank you, Monica. Good night.
You're welcome. Hey, Janae, I hear you.
Okay, so listen, I'm switching my Girl Scout family day so I can come to.
Don't do that. Hold up. Antonice and I are meeting on the 25th but that's a week away. I don't want you rearranging nothing until I get it solid, deposit down, everything.
Oh, because I was gonna purchase my ticket tomorrow.
Girl, look, I need for you to hold. I love that, but I need you to hold on just a second, because we're still planning. But July the 24th, for you guys that don't know what we're talking about, we're doing a meet and greet in July. We just haven't figured out which hotel we're going to go with. But Antonice and I can't get together until the 25th to meet. They got plenty of space, so we're not worried about that. But at least I'm going to try to meet with her on Zoom before the 25th. And then Janae, then I will send out an email or do a blast or whatever to let y'all know when we're confirmed. Then that's when y'all can. Is there a special going on Southwest or something?
Because I found a ticket for 119 and 123 round trip. So that's why I was trying to jump on.
Okay.
I'll wait. No, I'll wait because because
Okay.
it'll be my luck, the data change, and I didn't already booked my ticket.
Right. Yeah,
So
let me get that solid first. And I think I'm gonna try to push things up and see if I can get something solid by the end of the week instead of
okay.
pushing it
And
out.
also speaking to other notaries around that are not part of Notary Nerds, and they want to know, well, could they come? I said, well, did you join Notary Nerds yet?
They don't have to join Notary Nerds. They can come.
They don't have to be.
Yeah. Okay. There is going to be a registration for this, right?
Right.
But so they don't have to be a NNU member. It's just whoever wants to register and come, because we're going to have it's going to be a training. So I'm going to pay the refi trainer from 11 to 12. We're going to break for lunch from 12 to 1. We're going to feed y'all. Then from 1 to 2, the seller packet training is going to happen. And then from 2 to 3, you're going to be feeling like you're doing a signing. And you're going to be getting judged on everything from your presentation, what you got on, how you did the signing, how long did it take? Did you sound like you knew what you was talking about? Were you nice? And you're going to have your little scorecard. You're going to be able to leave with that. And we're going to be able to see, our network in live and in person. And paparazzi will be present. So dress to impress. Like paparazzi, when I say paparazzi, this is going to go all over the internet. Like I'm going to have somebody there taking pictures and, because I'm going to take that and put it in front of who? My secondary market, my attorneys all across the country. And they're going to see some of the baddest notaries in this hotel downtown Nashville looking fly, wondering, I want them on my team. And so that's the whole optical part of this. So I need for everybody to do your cleanse. I need you to start walking. I need you to stop eating all that fast food, okay? And we need to get it together over these next 6 to 8 weeks, okay? So I gotta go clean. So
go clean.
All right. Good
Okay.
night. Thank
Good
you.
night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
My baby. I don't believe it. You think